I'm Diana Steele and I'm here at Fresh Street Market in West Vancouver, and today I want to talk about how to know if the dairy you're consuming is from Canada or from the US or from somewhere else. I have a lot of confidence in our Canadian dairy. In fact, Canada has some of the highest standards for dairy production in the entire world. In Canada, we have several rules. One is 100% zero tolerance for antibiotics in your milk. So there are several ways along the production line where milk is tested for antibiotic residue. And if there is any trace of antibiotics, the entire shipment from that farm will be discarded and the farmer will be fined. So it's very important for them not to have any antibiotics in their milk. The other really important component is that we don't allow any growth hormone. So there is a growth hormone called recombinant bovine somatotropic hormone, or growth hormone, also known as SBGF. And that hormone is illegal in Canada, which means that our cows will not get it. They stopped, or they prevented us from using it in Canada because of animal welfare. It does increase the risk for mastitis and inflammation of the teat, which causes them to have antibiotic treatments. In the United States, it is allowed, so it's not illegal in the U.S., and they don't have to have it written on the food label. So when we import milk from the United States, we don't know whether or not those cows had growth hormone or not. There's about 17% of the cattle in the U.S. that are getting that growth hormone. The other interesting difference between our milk and the U.S. is that we measure something called SCC, which is somatic cell count, and that is a measure of the white blood cells that are in milk. And we have a maximum level of no more than 400,000 cells in milk, in our Canadian milk, and the average that they will test for is about 200,000. But in the U.S., they allow for a maximum of 750,000 cells, which is almost double what we will allow in our Canadian milk. And that is an indicator of whether or not the cow has an infection or is sick. So we do want to make sure that we continue to consume our Canadian milk because it is such a high quality milk. So how can you figure out if the milk that you're consuming is Canadian? Well, you can look for the blue cow symbol, and one of those looks like this here. So the blue cow symbol, this one says that it's made with 100% Canadian milk in there. There's another symbol to look for as well, which I'll show you. I think it's on this one here. This cheese here, burrata cheese. That's the little blue cow. So if you're looking for the little blue cow on your label, that means that it's 100% pure milk. The other really important way to look for whether or not it's made in Canada is to read the label, and it will say if it is made in Canada or not. So it would say if it's made in the US, then it would be using US dairy. If it's in Canada, 100% Canadian milk, it will say that on your label. So you can rest assured that you're getting Canadian milk. And with this new, when NAFTA was renegotiated into the USMCA, they did increase the allotment of milk that could come from the United States into Canada. So you will see an increase in the amount of US dairy coming into our Canadian markets. It went from 3.25% to 3.6%, which is going to increase just a little bit. So if you are concerned, then you should look for the blue cow or read your food labels. Dairy can be is a very good source of nutrients, in particular calcium. If you're interested in figuring out how much calcium you're getting in your diet from the various sources, whether it's dark green leafy vegetables or canned salmon with the bones or milk, yogurt, and cheese, you can go to BC Dairy. They have a free app called the Calcium Calculator, and you can put that on your phone and enter in all the different foods that you're eating to figure out if you're getting your 1,000 milligrams of calcium per day to help improve your overall bone health. And remember, in the Health Canada, the new food guide, having an unsweetened milk is a great beverage for hydration, as well as number one beverage of choice being water.